What's going on, Diamond?
Hey, Will, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hey, everyone. My name is Diamond Washington.
So I wanted you to come on because I wanted people to see your side of your story, because I think a lot of people are where you've been. Just knowing a little bit about you, and I've done a little research myself, so you probably don't even know what I know, but I know like you've made attempts at entrepreneurship, you've done different things, and you probably didn't have all the rules to play the game at the level you wanted to play. You got in some bad situations with people who wasn't bringing the proper strategies to you. So you came in, joined the REI 90, found the right rules to play, got the right strategies. So I just want you to just talk about just what got you to that point, because I know a lot of the times people say, oh, I don't know who to trust. And even after some of the experiences that you had, what got you over that hump to trust the process or the information to still join the REI 90?
Like I said, my name is Diamond Washington, and I joined REI 90 roughly about 2 months ago. I'm currently full-time active duty in the military. Right after I graduated college, I was self-employed. Like, me being active duty full-time right now is really my first time having a real job. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been self-employed. So right out of college, I was doing Uber and Lyft for like 3 years straight. And then I started getting into business. I had a successful Turo business. I had 7+ cars. I had multiple turnkey Airbnbs. I did credit repair. I did Forex. I had a call center business. I was a serial entrepreneur, honestly. I was everywhere, network marketing, Forex, everything. So eventually I got burned. So I didn't do my due diligence and my research on somebody, got into bad business, and it kind of pulled me out of the entrepreneurship space. And I was just like, you know what, let me get a real job. Let me not be a reservist. Let me go full-time military, take a step back and regroup. Even on social media, I stopped following a lot of people because I just didn't even want to be in that environment. But I got stationed out here in Milwaukee, and I kind of started getting back into the business avenue, and then Will started popping up. His ads started showing up like, oh, Milwaukee in-person training event in October. And I'm like, I'll be out here. I can go to that. So I went to his live in-person training event, and I was blown away. Will's energy, like his persona, the way he explained everything and didn't leave anything out. Being a business person, I know how to market and sell something and kind of not put everything in it so it sells, but Will put, look, no, these are all the costs, these are all the expenses, this is everything that's gonna happen when you get in here. Your credit, like something, Will, I never told you, but on your landing page for REI 90, this really, I don't know why it made me so happy, but on your page, you had the frequently asked questions, and it was like, can I really get real estate in 90 days? And you were straight up. If your credit is in position and you have this, profile, then yes, you can. It wasn't like, no, we're going to guarantee as soon as you come in here in 90 days. It's like, no, if you're in position, you can get real estate. And if you're not in position, we're going to help you get in position. And I was like, okay, he's very transparent. He breaks everything down. Let me give this a shot. So when you told the price of REI 90 at the event, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't have that right now. Just a little lieutenant in the military. So 2 months ago, literally this same call that you have every Monday, I got on it. And you was like, no, we have a payment plan. And I was like, you know what I can take it back to the basics, go back to doing Uber. Something everybody and their mama is against, donating plasma. They're like, oh, that's for the crackheads. Look, donating plasma, that's like $100+ a week. Like, don't knock it. Go in there, $100 twice a week. You sitting there for 30 minutes. That's what, $50 an hour if you really do the math on it. So I did what I could. I joined, and literally from there, I started game planning. Like, I started staying up all night. I was binge watching all the videos in the portal. And I was like, all right, how can I put myself in a better position to get in position for real estate? And I'm like, okay, let me cut my costs. So a very, very big life-changing moment for me. I traded in my Audi. That was my dream car. That was my baby. I got it 3 years ago, but I traded in, got a Hyundai. That saved me roughly about the monthly payment a month, because my Audi car note was $960. Now my Hyundai is like $500 something a month. Insurance went from like 600 to 400. Either way, it saved me the money I needed to be able to pay the $540 a month for REI 90. So on top of that, going back to Uber, and Will, you and your team was looking at my credit profile, like, okay, you know your stuff. Let's see if your credit's in position. And you told me you got to get these charge off and collections off and get your utilization down. So Will, I love how you have all the connections of all the people in the portal. So you told me on our call, look, reach out to Tiffany Hill. Same day, I called Tiffany Hill, and I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. There is a saying that you say that has stuck with me, and I say it every time I don't want to do something that I know I gotta do, and it's the cost of doing business. So Tiffany, and she was like, yeah, the consultant fee is $75. I'm like, whoa. I thought, I'm in REI 90. I paid funds. I thought I ain't had to pay nothing. And I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll pay the 75, do the consulting. So we had the consulting, and she was like, yeah, if you want me to remove these charge-off collections, you can either go through Will, go through the team and do it yourself, or pay me $300 as an attorney and I can get them removed. And I'm like, dang, like another $300? Oh, God, like I wasn't even trying to pay this. But I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Literally in 30 days, I got $50K worth of charge-off and collections removed off my credit report. I'm like, it's the cost of doing business. $300 for $50K removed off my credit report, I'll take it. So after that, I started going through the portal, and after I got the funding for REI 90, I had got an inquiry. I didn't really have any inquiries, so when I got that inquiry, I'm like, I bet I can remove this. This is what Experian is easy. So I looked at your 24-hour inquiry removal. Literally same day got that inquiry removed, like called at like 10, by 4 p.m. I got my Experian results. Inquiry was deleted. I'm like, okay, Will got the game in the chat. I'm getting everything taken off. So now I'm like, all right, we gotta get this utilization down, and I can go through funding to get real estate. Mind you, when I joined REI 90, I was giving myself like a year to 2 years to get my credit card utilization down to be able to get funding, because back in 2019, 2020, when I had all these businesses and teacher and credit repair, I had an 823 credit score. So I had got funding on the personal and the business side. But when I went through that bad business deal, I ended up having to use all that credit that I acquired to get to a position until I had, money with the military. So all that debt and getting to this position of having to pay it all off, I'm like, man, this is gonna take forever. So I hit up Will, because that situation is still haunting me to this day, going through litigation situation. And I was like, look, Will, I need to find $60K so I can get an attorney, yada, yada. Come to find out, didn't even need the attorney right now. So I'm like, well, shoot, I didn't even know I can get approved for nothing right now. Now that these charge-off collections is gone, I can get approved for some stuff. So went through so far. Literally last Sunday, I got approved for $50K. So that money will be coming in this week, and I'll be paying off all my credit card debt, personal and business. Because Will, I didn't tell you this. I know I'm supposed to just be paying off personal, but something I learned in REI 90, on the personal side, I already knew this. You want to keep your credit below 30, but below 10 is better. But on the business side, I didn't know you can't go past 50%. So I'm like, all right, let me pay down my business credit cards too. So by this time next week, I'll have paid off all my credit card debt with the $50K loan that will help me get approved for. So hopefully in the next 90 days, I will be able to go through funding. Also, I did just reach out to Tiffany too, because I made a rookie mistake, Will. So when I traded in my car, I did the dumbest thing. I already know I had a Turo business. I know you go to the bank, get the pre-approval, and then go shop the car. When I traded in my car, I went through the dealership. They're like, yeah, your credit score is showing 745. We're only got to pull you once. You'll be good. They pulled my credit 7 times, Will.
It's always true. Banana in the tailpipe all the time.
I got 7 inquiries, so I hit up Tiffany again, and I had to bite the bullet. And she was like, you can go through REI 90 and remove it yourself. I'm like, nah, Tiffany, how much to remove 7 inquiries? $700. I'm like, oh, you know what? It's the cost of doing business. I'm gonna bite the bullet, because I know in the next 60, 90 days, once these inquiries off, once I pay off all my credit card debt this week, I already know I'm gonna be in position for funding. I reached out to Anwar while I was out here. I set up my BMO bank account and my US bank account for both businesses. So my goal is to get $300K in the next 90 days.
Great story, by the way. because I know there are people who've been through disappointment. You know, everybody and their mama tried entrepreneurship during the pandemic. Everybody. And 80+% of the people, Diamond, have been jammed up, and they don't know the new rules to the new game. Because let me ask you a question. Would you say that the rules are different now than they were in 2020?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, you can't play with them rules no more.
I was one of them PPP people. You can't finesse no more.
So, and I appreciate your transparency. And so you can't play at those rules anymore. And somebody asked a question, and I'm going to address this. They asked, what's the interest rate? It doesn't even matter. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason the interest rates don't matter is because we learn how to use money for the greater good of getting in position to get cheaper money. See, and that's another thing that gets us hung up and why we can't advance as a culture. I did a whole lesson last Monday on the money traumas that unfortunately a lot of Black and brown communities have. I've never heard anybody ask what's the interest rate on their student loans when they get ready to go to school. I've never heard anybody ask what's the interest rate when they swipe that card to take that vacation. So we don't look at interest rate when we've calculated what our ROI is going to be.
Can I touch on that too for a second, Will?
Absolutely, please do.
So when I picked the loan because I went through SoFi, so the way they show it with the pre-approvals, they show the interest and they show the amount that you'll be paying every month. So I based it off of, okay, how much am I paying a month with all these 7, 8, 10 personal business credit cards? And the goal was to be at least at that number or under that number. So that's how I picked the interest rate that I had. I don't mind being transparent. Interest rate, 14%. But I did the math on it. I'm like, you know what, if I go through funding, I refinance, I do all this, I'm going to be able to service the debt. I'm going to be able to pay all this back off. So,
and that's all that matters. And that's why I say the rate doesn't matter. And so here's a question I'm going to ask you, Diamond, that I ask everybody when they find out what the rate is. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Where can you get it any cheaper? And most people don't. The average person can't pick up the phone and ask somebody for $50,000. Would you agree?
Yes.
The average person doesn't have enough in assets to be able to borrow against. Would you agree?
Yes.
And the average person, and I love this is my other favorite question, how long do you think it would take the average person to save $50,000?
A lifetime.
A lifetime. And so that's why I say we got to start learning how to play the game based upon how the rules are set up today. I don't care if the money is at 25%, because if I'm still making a 10% return, that 25% on that money doesn't matter, because the money, the debt servicing isn't coming from Will Roundtree. And that's how we have to learn how to play that game. So Diamond, any last thing you want to say to anybody who may be on the fence, who may have went through some obstacles, gotten burned by previous entrepreneurship, and why did you choose REI 90? Why real estate? All of that.
Okay, so Will, I just want to tell you straight up, like your course, I'm a course hoarder. I'm a course junkie, a conference junkie. I've been to all the conferences, platinum seats, books, every course on real estate. But what I love about you, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I've played cash flow, got the board game, played the online game. I want buy and holds. I want passive income. Like that's always been the name of the game. And every other real estate course I've been in, they're like, oh, start off in wholesaling or start off fixing flips and get the cash here. And I'm like, I don't want to have to keep going for the deal or keep having to find another deal. I want something that continues to pay me every month, pass it down to my kids. The asset's going to appreciate. Like I want wealth that I can keep and continue to have. So when I saw that your main focus was buying hoes, I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta go with REI 90. So one day, this little thing that you gave out at the event, the little REI 90
measure, yeah.
I was just looking at it one day and I'm like, let me go on Will's page. So literally, Will, no lie, the day before I got on this Monday call 2 months ago before I joined, I binge watched all your highlights and all your testimonies of your REI. And coming into REI 90, I was scared, Will. Like I did not, I'm like 10K, like another one. Like I done spent 25K on Byron Gone, I done spent 15K on a turkey. I'm tired of dropping all this money and then nothing happens. And I'm not one of those people that says it doesn't work, because I do the work, but it would just be a lot more stuff. And yours was like really straightforward. Like just do this, get your credit right. Once you get here, we get funding. And then we go through real estate. Like it was a straight shot. It's not like, oh, here's this And oh, when we get there, you eliminate the guesswork. Like, you have everything lined up no matter where you are. And the one thing that I love about REI 90 is like the implementation calls. Like, it's literally, it's not a one size fits all. Yes, you tell us to watch the videos, but with the implementation calls, it's like, okay, where are you, Susan? Okay, where are you, Bobby? But literally, you have it to where no matter where anybody is, when they join, you help them get in position. Some people come in with bankruptcies, or come in with child support, or come in with this 500 credit score, 700 credit score. I've seen people come in, join, and get their first deal in 90 days because they were already in position. And then other people who are just setting up their LLCs. Like, the implementation calls literally help each person exactly where they are to get in position. And I love that. It's not, I've been in too many groups where it's just like, oh, just watch the call. And I'm like, well, this don't apply to my situation. I've watched the calls 10 times. Like you really like care. And I love that. Like, it's not just like you worried about getting the money from this, but like, you really care about people. And I appreciate that.
First of all, thank you for your service to the country. Thank you for coming on. And like I tell everybody, and I want to tell you, I'm proud of you for the adversities you overcame, because that was a mental warfare you had to overcome. You were conflicted because you've tried everything. And again, because I went to your page, because I was like, I got to know who this diamond person is, because you radiate this energy, and that's why you're going to continue to win, because you have the tolerance to deal with the BS despite everything else that's going on. And that's the type of temperament you have to win. Because here's the thing, when you're winning, you're going to get challenged. It's no way around it, but it's how you operate and how you deal with it. So just keep doing what you're doing, Diamond. I'm happy for you, the successes, the wins. And when you close that deal on that first house, we might make that into a REI 90 housewarming. I don't know. Definitely keep doing your thing and keep winning.